Folks, welcome back to the iHealth channel, iHealth Radio, the Fitness App channel, because this is going to be a lot of fitness talk today. We definitely you see that. we also going to have a discussion, obviously, about nutrition, because when you talk fitness and health, oneness, nutrition is part of that. So we're going to cover all that. So the nutritious channel. I mean, we're just going to have fun today with my guest, and you probably heard her laugh right now. I'm not sure if you saw her yet, but here's the thing. I'm a fan of hers. She hosts a podcast as well, and she enlightens a lot of people, which matches our mission here. But also today is about her and about her brand and her work, and she does help people to really stay fit and doing it at home and just doing it in a way where it doesn't take a lot of time, which is usually the biggest problem that we hear about. So without any further ado, I have with me Jennifer Shaver. Jennifer, how are you? Or shall I call you Jen?
Either one, it's fine. Yeah, I'm good with either one.
All right. Well, you go by Jen on social, right? So I'll go with Jen.
It's shorter, 3 letters.
Listen, you don't have to tell me. That's why I have Hurricane. I mean, it makes it a lot easier for people than my name, right? So, well, Jen, welcome to the show. Welcome to the network.
Thank you.
I like I said before, I am a fan. I follow you, and I see your interviews all the time with your various guests.
Yes,
and you're doing a great job there. And like I said, I mean. We live in a world, there's a lot of crazy stuff, and we are busy with life, and sometimes that goes on the detriment of our health, and health comes with a lot of things, including being fit and being just healthy,
right,
and well so before we go into the whole thing, so just tell us a little bit about your background and what got you into the fitness world and really the coaching and mentoring and training.
Yeah, sure. So I was, a long time ago, once upon a time, a Spanish teacher, a middle school Spanish teacher.
Hola.
And then, yes, hola. And then my daughter was born 22 years ago, and I was a stay-at-home mom for all 3 of my kids until 2020 came. And then everything stopped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that stoppage came, a lot of time at home. And a lot of time we weren't running to the track to watch my daughter run or to the soccer field to watch my son play. So I had a lot of time, and my older 2 were about to graduate. My oldest was a senior, then the next one was a junior. So they were about to, head off onto their own new adventures. And I decided, well, you know what? I've got this time now where we're at home. I don't have sporting events to be to. They are going to be gone anyway in a few years. I'm going to pursue my next chapter. And so I have always been very fitness minded. I am a marathoner. I used to do triathlons. I just have always been somebody that fitness was a part of my life. Even when I was teaching, I would get up and do Denise Austin workouts before going to school. So yeah, I know, right? And then she had a pregnancy video, which I did as well. So the teacher in me wanted to do something, but not go back into the regular classroom. So I went from teaching middle school kids Spanish to teaching middle-aged women how to exercise and age successfully. So that's how I came to be.
Well, that there's a lot in there, and it's funny you talked about like how you were watching those programs back in the days. That's what we had. You buy a program, CDs, and you work out with them, or some of these channels had them, as you buy and whatever. It was pretty fun stuff. But with the age that we have and the technology and everything, I mean, now you can have access to apps and through social media, you can do exercise, you can do a lot of things. But I love the story. First of all, I love what you said about that you always had fitness in you, and that's actually something we all have to strive. And people are watching and listening right now. If you haven't had fitness as part of your life, it's never too late. You can still do it, because you said a key word. You want the middle-aged women to actually be healthier and fitter, and so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, that you don't have to wait for that time to happen. From early on, it's good. And I have to, and we're probably going to touch on this. The new generation, we know statistically obesity is at a record high, and it
Right.
affects a lot of the youth. And then, just imagine what it would look like in a couple of years to come. And when those, like my kids, your kids, come to
Right.
that middle age, it could be catastrophic if we're not there. So we want to
Right.
bring this culture of fitness and wellness. So
Right.
thank you for thinking about that. Now,
Yeah.
you were a Spanish, teacher, and
Yeah.
then, well, COVID, I have to say, 2020 is a historic year, right? I mean, there's so many
Yeah.
things that happen. Obviously, the pandemic, but in the midst of the pandemic, what I have stated and noticed, and a lot of my guests actually, and I hear all the time, there has been a shift, and many people took advantage of that lockdown and
Right.
time to shift, and get into whatever they love to do, and many have succeeded. And Jen, you're one of them. You made the shift, and it's been working out, and you're growing, and you're getting your brand
Yeah.
out, and you're helping people. So I just wanted to just highlight that item. But so let's talk about, ultimately you were involved and you were fit and you were always doing stuff.
Right.
But why specifically decided, like, let's do this for middle-aged women or mid-aged women? Is that
Probably because
specific?
that's my demographic. Yeah.
Okay, okay, all right.
Because I am right there down in the trenches with them, going through the changes that happen midlife, not only with, our bodies, but throughout our life with, our changing family dynamics. Our kids are going off, our kids are growing, they're getting older. We have aging parents that we have to sometimes deal with, or, changes in careers, whatever it might be. It's a time in life when there's a lot of change going on. And I'm part of the change, so I get it. I know what I understand, and I can relate to them.
Well, they said midlife crisis, but this is not
Yeah.
crisis. This is actually a
No.
strategic. This is the strategic, midlife, action.
Right.
Change and
Yeah.
shift. And by the way,
Mhm.
I thank you for it, because you touch on two things. Yes, I mean, for the most part, people in this age, typically have, graduating kids, and they're
Mhm.
probably elderly, parents. And by the way,
Right.
I'm exactly in the same realm,
Yeah.
in the same group here, because I do my kids. They they're actually graduating this year. I had one already that's gone,
Yeah.
and I have a parent that still lives with me, so I can tell you, it's exactly that. Now that I'm a guy, you focus more on women, but the fact of the matter, we all kind of go through the same process. But you're right,
Right.
there is a different
Right.
dynamic for women specifically. There's perimenopause, there's menopause, there's all these things that start happening. Like, again, we're talking about a nice range of age between 45 to 55. Yeah, it's
Right.
pretty. So some people have it earlier, some have it later, but it is a very critical time frame, to
Right.
maintain. I just watched actually a couple of clips of your last interview that
Oh,
just
yeah.
posted, and
Yes.
the idea was about, like, I want to do my stuff, by myself. I don't want someone to help me, at 70 or 80 to do my chores and things like that. And that
Right.
was like, that's a big moment. I mean, I shared that clip, but really that's powerful stuff, because there's one thing we can all agree on. It doesn't matter how long we live. We just want to live healthier, because you can live but not be
Yep.
healthy and,
Right.
and mobile,
Yeah.
and, have issues with your ADLs or activities of daily
Mhm.
living. And then therefore you're not really enjoying life. I mean, what's the point, right? So,
Right.
so, so your mission really helps people transform and stay in their shape, or get in shape, so they can be prepared for that, long, term ahead of them. Because you
Right.
said it, we spent a lot of years with our kids, and I have to say, mothers usually do more than guys. And all the credits to the mothers out there, because you do. And somehow, the guys are the guys, the ladies are the ladies. But the fact is, you do more. I mean, there's we see a lot more women doing the work with the kids and taking care of business. And I don't know, whatever family matters are. Some people
Right.
agree to that's the formula, whatever the case. But it takes time. It's a
Yeah.
lot of energy. Listen, I do some of it, and I'm drained. I just had
Yeah.
to take my kids today just to for a haircut and ice cream, and it was a pain. So I can tell you how tough it is when you have to do the soccer and this and the other and the
Right.
practice. That's a painful. And so I always admire, the work that's being done out there,
Yeah.
with women and taking care of business plus work. I mean, you weren't just doing,
And that's just it. There's so much on women's plates, and the thing that usually gets thrown off the plate is her health, because she's so busy doing all the other things, right?
Well, again, well, here's the thing. In your case, fitness has always been with you. And but not everybody has that. Many don't have that. I mean, a lot of people, they let themselves go because again, they're sacrificing, their work because today's economy, you have to work, for the most part, there's always two people working. Or that sometimes they're single mothers, that's the other part, right? And so that's even tougher. And then you have to run and do stuff, and kids are demanding, and you have to be there for them to give them the right, upbringing.
Right.
But then you said it, they let themselves go. I mean, you clearly said people have to take care of themselves.
Right.
And so now you dedicate yourself to do these programs and work with them. You have your own fitness program. So let's go through that whole system. Like, how do you do it? What does it involve? Because I know a little bit about it, but I would like you to share with our audience what that program looks like.
Yeah, of course. So, I always tell my ladies, if you fail to prepare to be frail.
I like that.
You have to think of your body like you do your retirement account. So you are busy right now putting in that money. So that way, 10, 15, 20, 25 years down the road, you can go and make withdrawals, right? Your body has to work the same way. So if you are not putting in the time now, 10, 15 years down, maybe even 5 years down the road, you're not going to be able to make those same withdrawals from your body. Your body is not going to be able to give you what you want it to down the road. So, that's the point of my program, is to prepare and help women to age successfully. It's not to get on the cover of Sports Illustrated in your bikini. It's to improve your quality of life as you age. And, I want women to understand that doesn't demand that she spend hours in the gym. It's possible to prepare your body by doing strength training 2 times a week at 30 minutes. And, what I do in my program, my Strong for Life program, is my ladies have the option of doing their workouts for 15 minutes, 4 days a week, or they can do it 2 days at 30 minutes. So it's made to fit into their schedules, because we want them to be consistent with it. So I understand that some days, oh my God, I don't have 30 minutes, but I could probably find 15 minutes, right? I mean, how many times do you sit down and you're scrolling for more than 15 minutes, right? We're all guilty of it. So, yeah, I mean, and if you sit there and you say, oh no, I just don't have 15 minutes, then the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is do a time audit of your day, and just take one day, and every time you go to open your phone, write that down. And you can still open it, I don't care, but write down how long you spend on it. And then at the end of the day, tell me you don't have 15 minutes, right? And you know what? Maybe there are some days, but that's why there's 7 days in a week. And the program only requires that you do it 4 days for 15 minutes.
Well, you just beat everybody who has any excuse that says, right? I do not have time, because technically you're not demanding much from people. Right. And you're right. I mean, it can be done in a little time, as long as it's consistent, right? I mean, consistency is the key.
And
by the way, I love what the spin on, plan to fail. I mean, fail to plan, and fail to
prepare to be frail.
Prepare to fail is prepare to fail. I love that. But it's true, because we always, at a younger age, you think that you're invincible. I make this statement all the time, because I've been there. You think that your body is gonna take a beating, and it's gonna continue doing exactly what it's been doing.
Yeah.
And every decade, that goes by, you start seeing some level of decline. I mean, there's a little bit of an up, and then it starts, plateauing, and then you start feeling like I got to do more to just compensate. And again, it's for me, but I know that goes for everybody. My wife is also into fitness, and I can tell you, every year things change, and you got to do more and work.
Right.
And it's not very simple. It takes a lot of stuff. And then you get tired. There's also the hormones. There's the whole events of the world. I mean, it could be very stressful, and work can happen. I mean, it's very difficult. And then the first thing we have that all of us are guilty of is, oh, time. I mean, that's the first common excuse that we see it everything. And by the way, that's for everything, not just fitness.
Right.
I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to read a book. I don't have time to go to here. I don't have time to vacation. We need to figure out a way. And again, planning is a key. I mean,
for sure.
It's for everything, right? But there's nothing. I mean, I had the show recently, and one of the things that my guest stated is that, you gotta have health to have wealth, because without health there is no wealth. I mean, we hear that, that health is wealth.
Right, your health is your wealth. Right. But I mean, like you said, the planning is the key, right? Because I always say, how many teams have won the Super Bowl without a game plan? Nobody.
None.
Nobody shows up to win the championship without a game plan. So the only way you're going to have success is if you have a plan. And that plan needs to be, written down, not just kind of up here, wishy-washy plan. Write that sucker down. Get your calendar out and write it down. Does that mean it's set in stone? Nope. Got to be flexible too, right? But you have to start with a plan.
Yeah, and I love what you said, because that is a sentence or statement that many top coaches and in the business world and non, are always stating, write it down. You cannot have it, just in the brain and just because you will forget and you will get distracted. Right. You got to see it in your face. You got to have it in print, and, whether it's in sticky, whether it's on your notes, whether in your calendar, step by step what you're going to do. And that goes for everything. But you're right. If you don't do it, you will miss it. And your formula is not really difficult. I mean, a lot of people stress you need to do 3 days, 4 days, half hour to 1 hour. I mean, there are different modalities of fitness, but at core, if you do strength training and things like that, as you said, you can do it. And 15 minutes in 4 days is nothing. I mean, you're right. If you take a phone right now and we just keep looking at TikTok or Instagram, chances are it's going to take 15 minutes before you actually
at least, right? Easy. At least.
Listen, I'm guilty. I mean, I'm doing it for work.
You know what? We all are, because you just mindlessly are, and then before you know it, like you said, you look up and you're like, holy mackerel, where'd my 25 minutes go? Can I have that back? Because I have nothing for it.
Well, it's funny because I applied something for me. This is true. I actually have one of those training bikes, like home bikes, right?
Yeah.
So I watch, if I want to watch something, I just go on it and I watch it while I'm doing it. So I am, at least I am not, because I was getting to that same point, like, oh my God, I have to go. I have to just, so I figured a way that if I am not going to the gym, we're not doing something, at least I'm doing some movement. And so, and so it takes away the excuse. There's no excuse.
Right.
So now you started this straight off, the 2020 mark.
Right.
And so how long is the actual program, if anything? Does someone?
It's a monthly subscription. Okay. So the exercises change. There's a Monday workout and a Friday workout. And then there's also a Wednesday workout, which, is another, it's a shorter 15 minutes, but it's more mobility work, that's thrown in there. So the exercises are different on Mondays and Fridays. And then at every 4 weeks, my ladies get a new set of workouts, and they're off and running with new workouts to do.
Is that like a HIIT training combination?
No, it is all slow, controlled movements. You can use weights if you have them. If you're new to strength training, I advise you to start with body weight and then work your way up to weights. I show my ladies how to use things around the home if they don't want to invest in weights, filling a backpack with books, water bottles filled with sand, are great for lateral raises and front raises. Just finding things around your home that are heavy that you can use for squats.
Jen, I'm listening to you. I'm thinking about the pandemic, because you couldn't even find anything out there.
That's just it, right?
Yeah, people could not buy dumbbells or anything out there in the market. There was nothing going on, no bikes and nothing. So ideally, we have our body weight and it works. And then you have also like things that you can have, like you have books, you can carry them. I mean, you can
laundry detergent, those things are heavy.
couple of pounds each, and that's all you need, right? I mean, but you're right, like, things are around us. So again, no excuses, folks. You cannot come up with any reason why you can't. I don't have this, or the money, like I don't have the money to purchase equipment.
Right.
Your body is there.
Exactly.
And by the way, I can relate to that. I mean, I've trained in martial arts, since I was a kid. And for the most part, martial arts training has no weights involved. I mean, it's all body strength training. And, I mean, everybody knows what a push-up is, right? And we used to do like hundreds of those, like in nonstop.
Oh, yeah. I'm big on those.
Well, they're big. Yeah. I mean, we used to
They're so important.
Well, they are, and they work. I mean, your arms, your back, your chest, everything is working.
Yep.
Even your abs, I mean, are part of that. Yeah, you do squats. I mean, you can just like sit, like we have what we call gibadachi, or like horse stands, right?
Oh,
horse stands are like your squats, on steroid. I mean, you just gotta sit there. I mean, they work. That stuff is like unbelievably workable. So, but it's like it's a lot easy, but yet it is not being done, or being taken advantage of. It is difficult. I mean, so I really thank you, and I appreciate that you've come up with a system that is not requiring a lot of work, from someone physically or financially, to actually get fit.
Well, I want it to be accessible. That's the idea. Is the accessibility of it to all women, because they all deserve to age successfully.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely. Well, listen, I mean, again, we talked about it. You want to age successfully. You don't want to be frail. You want to be healthy. And again, there are benefits to fitness, right? I mean, so Jen, why don't you guide us through some of the benefits that they will get? Because someone will say, well, strength training, what is that going to do for me? Why don't you share with us some of the actual facts about the training and the concept and how it benefits them in the long run?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know that, starting in our 40s, we start to lose our lean muscle mass. And with each decade, it's 3 to 5%. And so by the time you hit 60, that loss accelerates. Well, that's just the muscle, right? That's not even the bone density that we're talking about. And we know that as we age, we also run the risk of falls. And that risk of falling and the serious injury, even death from falls over 50 is high. So strength training will help to, mitigate those dangers. So, that might not sound very exciting, but think about the things that you are doing right now and that you enjoy. Maybe you enjoy gardening. Do you want to continue? Do you see yourself gardening and carrying bags of mulch, or, digging in the soil 10 years from now? Because if you do, you have to have the muscle to do that. I'm not talking about strength training so we're looking like Arnold up on stage. I'm talking about strength training that just builds the muscles for everyday living. I mean, I go to mass or to the grocery store, and you'll see somebody that has trouble getting in and out of a car or pushing the grocery cart. They're like holding on to dear life to that cart. And my thought is I do not want that. That is not a place that I want to be.
I'm with you.
So what do I do so I'm not there? Whatever it is, tell me what I do, and I'm going to do that. I want to be able to, years down the road, I want to hang out and be the fun grandma. I don't want to be the grandma that sits on the couch and watches the kids run around. I want to be the grandma that's running around with the kids. I want to be able to pick the kids up. I want to be able to go up and down steps. I want to go to their games and not worry about, going up the stadium steps. And that's really, when you look at it like that and look at it as I want to improve the quality of my life as I age, then you see the importance of the strength training. Because the only way that you're going to get muscle and bone density as you age is to strength train. I love walking. I love running, but those things do not provide me the muscle and the bone density that I need. So if I want to continue doing those things, if I am somebody that loves to walk, if I want to continue walking as I age without any problems, without, difficulties or a limp, right? I mean, look at how many times do you go to the store or go out and you see somebody who's older that's walking around with a limp? Almost every time you're out.
Yep. Or younger sometimes too. I mean,
right. Hey, I was one of those people because I wasn't doing my strength training and I was marathoning. Well, guess what happens? You get injured, no matter your age. So you have to build that muscle, and it's not sexy. It's not fun, for some people, and they might consider it boring, but you got to do the boring work in order to have fun, right? It's just like you have to do your homework if you want to get the A.
Like everything else. I mean, no, you give the best example. Nobody wins championships without doing the work. It's the work. But there's something else that is very powerful in your discussion. Like, if you don't do this, not only you're not going to have the muscle or the bone density, but if you're not active, you're not going to do it, and now you're going to start gaining more weight, which will affect everything else, and then your health is going to start really in a quicker decline, and now you have heart problems, diabetes, blood pressure, everything else will add up to this. The three stooges come along together. I mean, they kind of hang out together. Yeah.
Right. That's a great point. And you might not notice it at first, right? You might be 55 and, oh no, I don't need that right now. I'm good. Wait another 10 years, right? And then what happens? Am I saying that at 65, it's too late? It's never too late, right? It's only too late when you're 6 feet under.
I love it. That's powerful. But listen, you go to the gym. I mean, you see some people that are really, an older age, and they're still pumping and pushing and doing the stuff and very active. And, you talked about like walking and running. That's great. That's good cardio. And there's nothing wrong with that. You want to build that cardio rhythm, the whole thing, oxygenate and all that. But again, you're right. The mass, the muscle, we lose it by default. It's just, there is nothing you can do about it. You can eliminate, or you can lose it at a lesser rate and kind of keep it pumped, and you're right. 75, 85. There is no reason why you cannot maintain at even 90. I've actually, I believe it, this is a true story. I trained in, we had a martial arts camp, a couple of years back. And one of our professors that were training people was 90 plus. This guy looked stronger than the youth that we had in that room, including myself. And this was like, I was like 35, and we were all in shape. And you got this dude who's 90. Yeah. His son actually was also an advanced, belt, and they were doing a demo, and he was taking his son, and his son was just a big dude, massive. He was taking him down like that guy was like made of, paper. But that's like, and he was literally 90 plus. I think it was 91 or 92. And it was like amazing. I mean, I still have him in my mind, like as a picture. Like, this is the dude. And he looked strong. He was tough. And one of his, skills was he's always been in the, martial arts. And so therefore there's a lot of strength training that goes with that. Yeah. And every day you train. And, now ultimately this is an advanced, kind of concept. But in your case, it's doesn't take much. I love what you said. 15 minutes, 4 days, half hours. And now you can do more, right? I mean, this is, your system says do this, but if they do more, they do more. It's not going to hurt them, right? Right. No, exactly. And, I think it's also worth mentioning the cognitive benefits of strength training and exercise in general. It has a profound effect on, they're showing studies now on your memory, on warding off Alzheimer's. So it's, there's other benefits besides just, the muscle, which to me is more than enough. But if that's not enough for you, the cognitive benefits as you age are also a part of, strength training benefits. There's also a social aspect to it, right? I mean, because you do classes. I'm not sure if these are one-on-one or group, like, sessions. Mm-hmm. But there's definitely, I mean, I see people in the gym, they're sociable, they're active, they have friends. It becomes a very, like a community, right? Right. And, you do belong to a group. You belong to, another family, right? And that keeps you motivated, keeps you going. Right. So your mind is... Well,
it keeps you healthy to still be able to go and do the things with your friends, right?
But it's true. I mean, listen, let's go dancing. No, I can't.
Right.
You sleep at 8 o'clock because your body is not really anymore, in shape to actually go out,
Mm-hmm.
And then we all hear that story, like, oh, I used to hang out, late and I can't do
Yeah.
anymore. I used to have energy and I don't have energy. I love what you said, Jen, about the concept of being a grandparent, right? I mean,
Yeah.
eventually, if you're going to live long and you have children, there's a good chance you're going to have grandkids. Some
Right.
people actually, by the way, this is true. I have observed people who who are much younger, or maybe in the 40s or the 50s, and they cannot even take care of their own kids because they have, like, they had their kids at a later age, but they're not in
Right.
shape to maintain. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you stated you
Right.
go out to soccer games and stuff like that, but if you're not in shape, you can't keep up. I mean,
No,
kids have
it's
require a
taxing.
lot of energy. Exactly, it's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So Jen, now the muscle and strength training is great. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what is the importance of nutrition with this? Because you have to maintain a certain
Oh, yeah.
diet level to
Right.
actually continue with your muscle growth and build up, right? So let's talk about that piece of
Yeah.
it. And do you actually provide any of that in the program?
I do. Well, I provide some guidance. I am not a registered dietitian, so I do not do meal plans, but I do provide guidance in that because we know that you cannot outrun or out exercise a bad diet. And by bad diet, I mean one that is not healthy, right? I hate to
Oh,
label foods good and bad, but, you know, if you are eating a lot of fast food and a lot of packaged food, it doesn't matter how many hours you're on the treadmill or how many days you're in the gym pumping iron or whatever it is, it's going to catch up with you. And especially as we age, we talked about the strength training to build muscle. Well, we can't build the muscle if we're not eating what our body needs. And so, I always tell my ladies, and really I think women more so than men tend to be a little lower on that protein, with the protein on their plate. So I try to emphasize to my ladies that, please, ladies, the first thing you're going to do is prioritize your protein. I'm not demonizing carbs. I love carbs and we need them, right? That they are a part of a healthy diet, but you need to, if you are going to maintain that muscle that you're building and build that muscle that you're showing up to exercise for, you have got to be eating your protein. So, I tell them, try to get 30 grams of protein at each meal. Now that's the minimum. Do I want more? Do I want to see them eating more? Certainly. But, starting there I found is a great place for most women to start because they find that 90 grams to be, somewhat intimidating. Like, oh my God, how am I going to do that? So I usually have them start out with one meal. I said, okay, let's get one meal under control where we are hitting that 30 at that meal for, about 2 weeks. And then we'll start to add another meal and then another meal. And now I want to add a snack that's got at least 15 grams in it. How's that? And, if we can do that, then we have the strength training and we're consistent with both of those things. Okay, now we're really starting to move that needle in the right direction towards feeling better. Next component is sleep. Because so many women struggle with sleep, particularly during that perimenopause time. I can't sleep. I can't sleep. I'm not sleeping. And then what happens when you don't sleep? You eat bad, right? You eat garbage because that's what you're craving. So it's like this vicious cycle of, women can't figure out, well, why, what is going on with my body? Well, let's get all of our ducks in a row. Not all in one day, not all in 1 week, right? But let's look at each of these components. Let's look at that strength training. Let's look at that protein. And now let's look at that sleep. In fact, I really tell women that that's the first place that they should start is sleep.
Oh, by the way, you're right on the money there. There is a every guest I had that is an expert in terms of the health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep is a factor that you cannot do. If for mental and physical health, you need to have your beauty sleep, and you need at least 7 to 8 hours, to really refresh and reset your body and get it going. And there is no way you can run on a couple hours and think that you're going to be healthy. You might do it at a certain point, and maybe when you're younger, you can. but there is a point where if you're not doing that, you're going to be a zombie, and you're going to not function correctly. Therefore, to your point, you're going to be eating the wrong way, and binge eating and all these things, and that's not going to do good for you. So sleep is definitely. And I love what you said about protein. Now the only question I have on that is that is there a particular protein? Because people say, well, I don't want to eat a lot of meat. I mean, there's substitutions. There's multiple ways to get your proteins in, and 90 grams. And by the way, I think there is a chart actually. If anybody Googles, you can have a chart of like your weight and how many proteins you can get per day, or grams per. So there's all that's available today. So what would you recommend in terms of that, in case someone just is asking like, well, I don't like to eat a lot of meat, or is it chicken, is it fish, is it beef? I don't know, that kind of thing.
Right. I like to say that each person is different. So I know that there are many people out there that do very well with a vegan lifestyle, and that is fine. So I think it really depends on you and your body, because you need to find what works for you. Because if you go down that road and you're like, I just don't feel well, then it's okay. I don't want you to feel like you're stuck and you're never going to be healthy because you couldn't do this particular way of eating. There is a way of eating for you and your body. Each person is different, and you have to find what works best for you. Do I eat meat? Yes, I do. I eat red meat. I eat chicken. The only thing I don't eat is fish. It's not because I think it's bad for you. It's because I just don't like it. So those are the foods that I don't like, that I don't eat, right? The ones that I'm allergic to, which I don't think I have any food allergies, and the ones that I don't like. And that's it. I think sometimes we get caught up in, well, I read that you should eat this and you shouldn't eat that and you shouldn't, and this, that, and the other. And that just complicates the whole thing. So find protein sources that you enjoy and that are going to get you the needed protein, and go with that. Right now, obviously you don't want to be eating, if you like red meat, you don't want to be going to McDonald's and eating McDonald's every day to get your red meat, right? I mean, we want to be doing it in a smart way.
There's a question mark about that meat, though. But
yeah. So let's be reasonable when I say, if that's what you enjoy, go for the grass-fed beef, go for lean meats, go for lean ground turkey. There's ground chicken, go for chicken breasts. Salmon is great if you enjoy fish. Shrimp is great source of protein if you, again, enjoy seafood. There are a lot of options out there. Find what works for you and your body. And that's the best way for you to be successful, because I think so many times what happens is, we see the articles at the grocery store and the magazine. Well, I'm supposed to eat this, this, and this. Well, you might not like this, this, and this, but for the first week you are killing it because you're like, I am focused. I am doing this. And after 2 weeks, you're just like, I just can't do this anymore. And then you just, throw the baby out with the bathwater and you're done. And you go back to just, not being healthy. So part of being healthy is finding the healthy foods that you enjoy and that you can eat for the rest of your life, right? Because this isn't a 30-day challenge that we're on. This is a lifestyle that we're working towards.
That's powerful stuff. By the way, I enjoy this type of discussion, because you're not, you're giving people the flexibility. As you said, they have to have whether it's from the time frame when they work out and how to do it, right, but also how to live with that formula and how to eat. Because you're right, everybody's got a preference. We need to get the protein, but there's multiple sources, and you need to know how to do it. And if you don't know, there are experts also for that purpose. You can actually seek that help. And you're right, there's so many modalities and stuff. And reading an article, I mean, articles are a dime dozen. It's a reality. That's fact. And everybody is pushing a different brand, a different type of diet, and therefore they have articles to support that. And that's just a fact. Folks, it's amazing. Like, a show like this, there are thousands of them. And you'll find a lot of folks out there that are talking. And by the way, just in my network, I've had so many different versions of how you can, get healthy and nutrition wise. And they all kind of have the same base, but they all have different formulas or different styles about them. At the end, they still work on the same thing. It's the exercise, it's the sleep, concept, and the right diet.
Yeah.
And you have to like, I love what you said earlier, like you can't outrun a bad diet.
Yeah.
Our foods, today we just overeat. I mean, that's the
Oh,
problem.
yeah.
One,
Yeah.
look at Europe. I mean, I always give this,
Oh, yeah.
if you travel and you go to Europe, the people are slimmer there. They are healthier. Their lifestyle is different.
Oh,
They do hang out more. If you go to a restaurant there, they're not going to give you like the food where you're going to have another meal to go after you finish your food.
Yeah.
You're going to get it and you'll be like, what is this? And you're going to finish up. You'll probably be hungry later because you're not used to those portions. The portions are small. And here we give you like, for you, I mean, that plate could probably feed a whole family if you wanted to.
Oh, for sure.
And then you said it. I mean, if we go on fast food, it's that's what it is. Fast food. It goes in, it goes out. There's no value for it.
Right.
That's
Well,
look
at the size of like what you could get at fast food and what it was in the 1980s, right? And what it looks like now.
Yeah. Everything is unbelievable. And that's one thing. The other part, I mean, that I believe is another problem. Now you go to get a meal, they give you all these extra refills on sugar, water.
Yep.
And that's like, I mean, that's, again, you can work out, that's we talked about protein stuff, but if you're getting all this extra sugars in your body, you're not going to metabolize these things and run them properly eventually.
Right.
30 minutes may not be enough to process that.
Right.
So you got to also watch your intake, how you do
Yeah.
stuff. What do you get into your body? Sugar is another one. I mean,
that's a great point. Yeah.
Any advice on the sugar
Yeah.
intake?
Yeah.
That's a big problem.
It is. And you know what? So there are, a lot of healthy foods, quote unquote, healthy foods, right? I love Greek yogurt. And I think it is a great source of protein, but you have to watch the added sugars in it. So turn that baby over, read that label. Look, how much added sugar is this? Because if you're having that every single day and it has, more than, I like to stay under 6, maybe 9 max grams of added sugar. But if you're having that every single day, that adds up to a lot of added sugar in 1 week, right? I mean, if you're just having one once a month and it's like a treat, okay, great, whatever. But, you might think, oh, I'm eating Greek yogurt and I'm eating healthy. You turn that over and you see, oh my God, it's got 26 grams of sugar in it. Not so healthy after all. So, it is important to look at those things. A lot of protein bars, right, have added sugar. Look at those. If that is something that you are eating every single day, you might want to think about finding a new source of protein, a new snack, if you will, because you're just eating a candy bar, basically.
Well, Jen, sugar is in everything today. I mean, like literally, we drink our sugars more than anything else. And you got sodas, you got juices, and I have yet, unless it's a fresh squeeze something, that is, that's the only time you're not going to have something with sugar other than like fructose type of thing, which would be natural.
Right.
But if you're buying something in a can or a bottle, there is a sugar. I mean, orange juice from concentrate, it's like sweet sugar.
Please don't buy that. I know I said to, get the things you like, but please just squeeze your own oranges or eat an orange. How's that? And just eat an orange.
Listen, it is a fact. I mean, when you're young, you drink a lot. I loved orange juice, but I stopped. Yep. I stopped sugar literally. I mean, I still eat some stuff. Like, I mean,
exactly.
You always crave some things, but it's really true moderation. You have to control. Like, if I get something, it's going to be small. But there was a time like, you just drink. I mean, you go to anywhere in a restaurant, you order a big, mug of or glass of OJ, this cranberry juice, this, all sweet, all sugar added. And we're talking about refined sugars, which is completely, it's not good for you whatsoever. I mean, as they refer it as crap, caffeine, I think refined sugar, what is that? The additives and preservatives. I mean, those are the those are that's the acronym, and it's all bad for you, right? So and everything that you kind of eat out there has these components.
Right.
If you're not, really, I love what you said. Yeah, Greek yogurt is great, but
Right.
for people that love dairy, because there's a whole discussion about dairy and all that.
Exactly. Right.
But the idea is, I mean, historically, that's not been a problem. It's traditional, food, but the concept, to your point, they make it sweet so you can actually enjoy it. They throw in those fruits in them, but they're like concentrated fruits. But when that's the sweetest part, and it's like basically you're having jam in your yogurt, right? And then it's all sugar business. And by the way, folks, if you're listening and watching this, you'll be like, "Oh, you guys are too much." We're not going to eat it. And well, unfortunately, you have there's a choice. We can do this, and basically, eat healthy, or maybe we can keep doing this. And actually, I hear this every time, and my wife hears this all the time, which is like, I'm working out, but I'm not losing weight. Well, what do you eat, and when do you eat, and how do you eat? What's the quantity you eat? I mean, when you ask these questions, the answer is like, why? Well, I eat at night. Well, I eat a lot of bread. I eat rice. I did this. I did.
Yeah.
Okay, I drink a lot of soda. I drink this. I mean, none of that stuff is gonna. I mean, you are losing X amount of calories or whatever, but you are doing like double that in the intake. And you might get some muscle, but you're actually getting all the extra stuff. So now you cover up with that extra fat that your body cannot, process, and voila, that's
exactly.
it. And you'll be like, I am not doing. And I love what you said, that this is not a challenge, because you have a lot of programs that have like a 6-week, 10-week challenge, and you know what? They'll transform you if you follow the exact diet.
Yes, they will.
But then it's not long term. And well, here's what happens: you're gonna cut everything, and then eventually you're gonna like finish this program. It's like, oh, finally I'm done. Let me just go back and start, and then you start the cycle again. This is a long term commitment, folks. I mean, you want to do this and learn it, and it's not easy to get rid of these things. I mean, because they've been part of your culture all along.
Yeah.
Listen, we all have been there. I mean, I have been there. And again, we're human. We do crave. I mean, you go somewhere,
and it's not that we don't eat cake. I eat birthday cake, right? But I don't keep it in my house and have it every night, right?
One slice and take it to go.
Exactly. So I don't want people to think that it's not about being extreme, because if you start to go down the extreme route, it's not going to last, right? So it goes back to the 6-week challenge. Those are very extreme, which is why they work and why you get results quickly. Right. I mean, we know that, in those types of things, results do happen, and they happen really fast. But then again, like you said, once that is done, the person goes back to living the way that they were. They gain the weight back. They gain even more weight back. And, it was so extreme that they go the opposite direction. So it's about, I hate to say it's about finding balance. That's so cliche, but it really is about learning how to have a better relationship with food and with your exercise, because we want that relationship with the exercise to be healthy. We don't want it to be, oh, I've got to go exercise so I can burn off the cake that I ate. And we don't want to be, oh, I can't have cake. And then we eat the whole cake because we haven't had cake in 6 weeks. So it's learning how to, okay, I am going to allow myself to have this piece of cake. I'm not going to feel guilty in any way for having it, but I'm not going to eat it every single night. I'm going to have it today, and I'm going to go about my business tomorrow, my normal workout and doing my normal things without feeling guilty about what I ate. But I'm not going to eat it every day.
Well, thank you. And actually, I've had discussions with like dietitians or, experts in nutrition. And one thing they always kind of like state is that, everything is moderation, right? So you have to understand that. You can have cheat days, and you can have, but again, it's the quantities. I mean, you crave something. Now, obviously, avoid the obvious. I mean, you don't take a spoon of sugar and just put it on your, like, I stopped like putting sugar in coffee and tea a long time ago. No soda stuff. But again, that's the thing. Like, diabetes is a real thing. It can happen, and that will ruin your life too. And especially if you have predisposed notions because of family, it could be a problem. So that's one thing. And then you have also to understand your body, because not everybody metabolism is the same thing.
Yeah,
we're talking about a particular age group where the body slows down. There is a level of slow down. There's nothing you can do about that. It's gonna. maybe there's a variation at a level, but eventually it's not the same as in the 30s and 20s, right? So it's gonna keep challenging you slowly. So you have to understand these things. And you're right. I mean, you don't go extreme, because what happens when you go extreme, you eventually get a lapse back. And it's like, it's a lot easier to gain weight than actually lose weight. It's a simple thing. You can gain weight in 3 days, and it will take you 2 months to drop the same weight, if anything, right?
Yeah.
And if you go too extreme, then you put too much, load on your body, and you might not have good, aftermath in there. So it's important. So, Jen, question: what do you say about fasting or intermittent fasting? Because I think that's a big discussion. A lot of people sometimes they combine things to achieve goals. What would you take? What's your take?
Again, that falls under the you need to do what works for you and your body. And depending on how your body responds to that. Some people with a thyroid disorder don't respond very well to intermittent fasting. Some might respond okay to it. So, again, it's really just, when we're talking intermittent fasting, we're just talking about calorie restriction, right? Because we're just taking our calories and we're just having them in a shorter time period. So you have to just figure, is this something that I can see myself doing the rest of my life? And if it is, and if you feel okay doing it, then by all means, go down that path. But if you try it and you're like, this just isn't working for me, again, don't feel like you're a failure. Nothing's going to work. Might as well just give up. Find what does work for you.
And that's I love your advice, because that is pretty simple. And this whole discussion today has been, it's so simplified. It's not even funny. I mean, literally, if you hear anyone watching or listening right now, you'll notice that everyone can do what Jen said today. You can work out, you can do strength training, you can do it with minimum expenses and minimum time, stuff, and you don't have to go extreme. I mean, what else can you get, from this? I mean, really, you can get healthy and in the long run maintain a healthier lifestyle and live free and mobile and things like that, and have your agility and vitality at the same time, without having to go on the the other extreme, right? It's really that simple. No excuses, folks. If you're watching or listening and you've always found a reason why you were not doing it, today I don't think you're going to have that. I think this will stop you from you can get away with this one this time. So courtesy of Jen.
You are so welcome. Well, I mean, I just say there's so much information out there, right? We are bombarded every day, whether it is online or on TV or at the grocery store with the magazines of do this, do that, don't do this, do that, and then you just get so overwhelmed. Well, let's just cut all the garbage out, right? Here's the things you need to do. We're going to simplify it. Okay. You need to strength train. You need to move your body. You need to sleep. You need to eat protein. And let's just simplify it. Let's do it in small steps. And let's find a way that we can make it part of your lifestyle. So that way it fits into your life seamlessly and you can continue doing it and it becomes a habit. So now you're not even thinking about doing it. And you're reaping the benefits. You're feeling better. You have more energy. You can continue doing the things that you like to do. And your quality of life has improved.
And that's all we want, right? We want quality of life, and live happy. I mean, again, folks, we can enjoy this world, and ultimately there's crazy stuff going on all over us, all the time, but we have to look at the positive. And again, good example is the pandemic. I mean, it was brutal, it was bad, but some people didn't even, barge with it, and they just moved on with it. They kind of adapted to it. Their resilience was there. So you would have seen people walking around doing stuff and exercising and doing all kind of things. Some people started their own businesses and they've been successful. Jen, you've done the transition, and many more have done that. I mean, that I've had on. So the idea is that, we can do things, and we have the ability to do things as long as sometimes we just need this, like we just need to hear it. I mean, literally as simple as that. Right. You get, I thought this was going to be more difficult. It's not that difficult. You don't have to join anything that is expensive either. I mean, you could, if you can afford it, if you want to do that, that's all good. Right. But you can do it as a basic form. Now you can do it alone, or you can get with someone who can guide you to it. Jen, you do that. Now that takes me to my question. How, I mean, you do this, I'm assuming, remotely through the app or through a virtual, platform. How do you do it? So for people,
so it is, my ladies have a monthly subscription, and each month they receive a PDF with all of the exercises, along with a video exercise library. So it shows the exercises that they are doing, so they know how to do it, and then they can do their exercises on the day and on the time that works for their schedule, which is, how it works best, because then it fits into their lives and they're able to be consistent with it.
Wherever they are. They could be on a trip.
Exactly.
They can be on vacation. They can be at home. So again, no excuses, ladies. There's no. And by the way, guys, you can do the same if you choose to. I mean, maybe not in this program. I'm not sure. I mean, it's only for ladies, right? Jen, or
I do not have any men. No.
Well, but listen.
But here's the thing. Exercises are exercises, right? There's no such thing as a squat for ladies and a squat for men. Great. So the exercises are not technically, for women only.
No, I agree. Right? So again, so if someone watching this is like, oh, this is, you can do it. You can come up with your own program. Who cares? Find an old man club. It doesn't matter. Do what you got to do. But again, the lesson today is you can do it. No excuses, no matter what, no matter how, there is a way you can do this in a simplified way that includes your overall health, spirit, and just, lifestyle. So it can all do this and work. And by the way, you stated something about, like, say you talked about thyroid, which is a very common, I mean, listen, it is very common, and it does affect your metabolism. It affects your hormones. It affects your regulation and how you operate. And yes, it does take a toll on the body. And by the way, you talked about the particular age where there is perimenopause and menopause, and there are a lot of different transformation and changes that are happening for the ladies in this particular time frame. And it does, take a toll on everything. So understanding those dynamics, applying correctly, working, doing these things will help you stay better and eventually kind of like get through the phases without any difficulty.
Right.
I mean, maybe a level of difficulty is always there. I mean, there's no pain, no gain, as they say, right? You have to have some of that. Yeah. And that's the other thing. You have to know that this is not going to be, okay, we're making it sound very easy and stuff, but you still got to put the work, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you still have to show up, and if you don't show up, I can send you all the PDFs in the world and all the exercise libraries, but if you don't actually show up and do the exercises, doesn't matter, right? I mean, it's not going to help. So you got to show up.
All right. Well, so Jen, what would be some of the biggest advice you want to give, our audiences today, so before we actually close the show?
I would say it's okay to take care of yourself. So a lot of women feel guilty for taking that time, but you have to remember that if you don't take the time to care for yourself, you can't care for others. And so if you are having that, oh, but I can't because I have to take care of this, and this. Well, you can't take care of this, and this if your body decides, not today, sister. So you need to make sure that you are showing up for yourself first, and then you can take care of others.
Actually, I would add, just, Jen, that is not selfish. That is actually smart, because you cannot help anyone if you're not able to help yourself first.
That's so just it. Yeah,
because everyone's like, oh, I just want to do things right and for the others, but you can't do anything for them the day that you're not anymore able, right? So you want to keep able to be able to help them and be there for them and be around your loved ones. Otherwise, you're not going to be good for them or to them. So thank you. That's a super advice. Now, Jen, how can people reach out and sign up for your program?
My website is strongforlifefitness.com. And there is you can go on there, and there is a free workout that you can download and get started with a free workout today.
All right. And they can follow you on Instagram. I see that
I am
you have
on
great posts
Instagram.
there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. On Instagram and Facebook, I am Fit with Shaver. So you can find me there.
All right. Well, again, ladies, and by the way, guys,
Yeah.
here's the thing, guys, maybe not for you, but you do have women in your life, right? It's your
Right.
wife, your daughter, your mother, your cousin, whoever it is,
Right.
your colleagues, giving them the advice, share with them this episode, share with them the value that they can actually do. But if you like and love the people around you and the women around you in life, you want them to be healthy and living the life, continuous life, in the most vital way. So this is an opportunity. So share the wealth. This is not this is not a show for guys. This is the thing. Like we're all connected. There's no way you're gonna say like I have no woman in my life. There is not a man that I know that doesn't have a woman in life. It starts with your mom, right? So you can get started with that, and help. So one way or the other, we can help people around. And by the way, this is not limited to the States. I'm assuming, right, Jen?
Right?
So
No. Yep. Yeah.
Again, doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you complain that I don't have the gym, I don't have the way, pretty easy to access. So so I will have the link of the website into the description of the show, so people actually can reach out to you, and hopefully they can benefit from your program and just stay healthy and alive. That's it. That's all we have to say.
That's age successfully.
That's it. What else you want, right? I mean, you want to age, and for as long as you live, and that's it. I mean, that's the best plan.
Yeah.
There's no better plan than that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jen, thank you so much for being with us today. I enjoyed this discussion, and like I said, I'm a fan. And by the way, do follow. She has a podcast too, so you want to get her action there, and her guests are awesome. Great stuff, great discussions, and definitely will supply and add you more value of how to live healthier and happier. So that's it for me today. Jen, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And folks, so we'll be talking soon. New day, new show, new guest. Talk soon. Bye for now.